brand new. It's built brand new, but deliberately to make it look like it's part of the structure, which is why it looks rather old. If anybody who's not familiar with this place, when you come in there, you assume this thing has been here forever, but it's not. It's only been here for maybe, I think since November. Some of the photos already out since November. The Chinese calligraphy Kwai Chai Hong is written by a calligrapher. I can't remember the name, I'll give it to you later. But it's a famous, reputable calligrapher. We wanted it to be not a digital font, because only calligraphers will give you the taste of what calligraphy is about. So this was a written calligraphy of Kwai Chai Hong. Okay, we'll walk through. So you're walking through what we call the Hong Tiao or the Hong Queue. This Hong Tiao is built for a reason. Remember just now during the speech what I said about the Hong Tiao? What did I say about the bridge? You're walking in the entrance, but you're facing the back of people's cooking area and eating area. So you're going to be walking into an area like that. It's not pleasant. And in order to make it pleasant, what was the first impression when you walk through there and you see the bridge? The other thing is being they will go in they will go for picnics, they will go to a place where there's no need for internet, no connection. So what do? They really literally sit by the bridge and sit by the pond, sit by the river, sit by the sea, and then all the hiao conversation will start coming out. So this is a Chinese art, right? The Chinese ancient history. So can you QR code this? Anyone can QR code this? Any one of you, if you could QR code it, I want you to listen what they are saying. It's the 100-year-old, what we call the century lamppost. Through a lot of communications and history, the writers who did the research, some of the writers were referring this to a 100-year-old because the last reference to this was because the first KL lamppost that came up after the electricity was created arrived in KL city. These were the first set of lampposts that came up. The rest of it were no longer there, so a historian has written to say this is the only remaining one in Kuala Lumpur, possibly in Malaysia, but there was a conversation about one more that is in Penang, possibly one more in Penang. This is the only functioning one. When I say functioning, we have restored it to function. You can't see it right now, but if you come at night, it's very nice. It's functioning, it's already functioned. There was some sort of restoration done to it. The metal pieces were already broken and rotten. You can see this is brand new. You can see that it's very different. What is old and what is new. But we had to restore it, else the electricity will cause the problem to trip. So we do what we can. The other thing I would like to ask you all to pay attention to is the blue of the window. Now if you counter-attack me and say, why is it such a horrible blue? Nah. These are the original windows that you see from the original building that we took down that we could salvage. The rest that we took down when the frames are off, we couldn't. So you can see the blue of these original windows. I can't tell you if some owners in the middle have painted over it, but because they're all different owners and all different occupants, they still kept the blue. So we assume this is the original blue of the building. Okay, we move on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before we go to the Bao Zhou Po, which is my little actress, we've got a Bao Zhou Po because Bao Zhou Po in the old days in this area is very common. A lot of the houses are divided to many different rooms and a Bao Zhou Po just go around 收錢。大家知道72間房客係咩嘛？ So 72間房客嘅 concept was how house were built against over house, rooms were搭喺 another person's room, and the idea of having a lot of people staying in one area. So I've got my Madam 包租婆，等一陣俾我搞掂先，我會帶佢哋過嚟嘅。你燒下你嘅煙先啦嚇。Okay, please pay attention to this art now. This art piece, we call him the Erhu Uncle. Anybody know this instrument? The Yiwu? Erhu Uncle? Okay, so this is an ancient Chinese instrument of 2 strings. That's why it's called Erhu. Of 2 strings called the 2 fiddle as well. This ancient Chinese instrument was brought in by immigrants from China. At that time we were immigrant, then now my grandma. So when we were all the Chinese people coming in from China, when they came over with their family, big and small, they brought in some of the history, that the culture from that side. So they brought in their instruments as well. And this uncle, if you QR code him, let me try to QR code so you all can hear. But if you QR code him, this is what he says. creative people and around the industry. We brought them into the street, and then they start telling us every single mural should have a character, every single character should have a history. That's why when we told the story of this uncle who's 拉魚糊, he said already, 我最中意拉魚糊，拉咗幾十年，真係很 different 咁樣就係 our definition of jamming today is their definition of 拉魚糊, yang qing and all the different Chinese instruments. So this uncle, he obviously said that I've been here for many years, and he usually was. They are here for many years, and these are the people who gave the name Kwai Chai Hong. Why Kwai Chai Hong? There are three reasons why Kwai Chai Hong. The first reason why it's Kwai Chai Hong is because the old days, when these people were around, they came from China. They are not the most educated or the most rich people. By the time they land here in Malaysia, the first thing they call Nam Yong, last time it's called Nam Yong, the first thing they do is find a place where Chinese people congregate. When the Chinese people congregate, which is in Petaling Street, or should I say old Chinatown, when they all congregate here, the first thing they do, they start having their families around, they start building their families. And because they're not rich people, both parents may have to work. So they leave the kids behind to be nuisance and mischief. So all the kids were berkumpul, and then berlepak, and then prank all the old folks and all the neighboring families. And that's why those old folks will end up saying, "Aiya, lepak Kwai Chai, Kwai Chaiจะเป็นเจ้าKwai Chai Hong." Okay, that's why Kwai Chai Hong comes about. The second reason why it's called Kwai Chai Hong is because there were this street, this particular Kwai Chai Hong street, there were history of Tau Kwai, Sek Kwai, Zau Kwai, which are all the different negative, the vice activities of this lane. Vice activities, there were also the gamblers, the prostitute, sex workers, the seekers of all the vice activities. That's why Kwai Chai Hong, because all the Kwai word was at the last definition. The third description why it's called Kwai Chai Hong is because Kwai Chai Hong was once a name given to the Long Fu Tong. You know about Long Fu Tong? Don't know, I'll tell you, they're gangsters, don't be friends. Okay, so the old days, this street was supposed to be territory of the gangster called Long Fu Tong. And they are little members, the joint membership people, they are called Kwai Chai. That's why this place became Kwai Chai Hong. So three reasons, because when we asked and interviewed different people, they gave us this response, and that's why Kwai Chai Hong came about. We didn't feel it is fair for me to pick one and not the other, so we depicted all three. The first one, which is showing the immigrant from China, we move ahead. Remember I say kids depict Kwai Chai Hong? You will see a lot of kids mural hanging around, because kids depict Kwai Chai Hong. Here's one example. If you look down, you will see two kids. What is the usual game in the 50s, 60s for kids? Not internet, not Pokemon. Guli. In Chinese, Holi. So when they come and gather together, they will be playing Guli or Holi. What's the conversation? Let me play it to you because you're lazy, right? Don't want to take out your... When the immigrants came, the China immigrants, now the migrants, when they came, they were speaking Cantonese. 所以好多 Petaling Street 個人就 start 嗰陣時係 Canto 嘅。So we move on. So that's the QR code. You will notice without the QR code, I couldn't bring you into their life. I could only show you there play marble. But once you hear the QR code, you can already imagine what the kids are doing. Let's move on. Okay, we are now at the Caligrapher corner. 大家知唔知以前啲人咧 in the old days 咧 the calligraphers do you know that the calligraphy men like this, they are the highly educated ones amongst the commoners. Why? If you know of this thing called 寫家書, you heard of this thing called 寫家書or not? Is anyone familiar with 寫家書? If they want to send regards or send information or send khabar balik kampung, and their kampung is still in China because they came from China, yes? But they are illiterate. So what do? They look for people like that. So let me play you what do you think he's going to say. Words lah, he won't write that ones lah. So he'll write things like lots of money falling from trees. Okay, that's in Cantonese, there are other words lah. So tai kat tai lei they will have all these words that are written, and then you put these words into like a book. Paktor is another word that you write, and you put it at the entrance of your door. These same people are also your news writers, which is the people who write about your khabar sent back to your kampung. So a lot of times in the old days when the illiterate people go to them and say, I want to tell my family I'm safe, and because I'm not from the literate group of people, even my level of vocabulary is starting to go one. Because if you think it's just dictation, it's not true, because they don't even have enough words to dictate. So they'll tell the guy, tell them I'm safe lah. Tell them I arrived safely already, tell them I married already, tell them what. This guy, he will write the Pantun Puisi style. He will be writing his own way. So all the letters that are written back to the kampung, right, a lot of times are not a dictation. It's a classical or a well-written letter by someone who actually assumed what he said. So tell them I'm safe. So more than you guys ping on, which he will probably never use that word. So that's why the so-called higher educated people becomes the one to translate the message back to the home. The other thing I learned, again through reading, I'm not a historian so I go and do the study, a lot of these people buy去以前嘅 post office, buy the post office. It's natural, right? Why would you put this guy buy the post office? Natural, right? Because then you want to send khabar balik rumah. Yeah? Okay, last one. This art, my friend, is a controversial piece of art. I say controversial because this character was built in order for us to showcase characters. That means if you look at my painting, all the different paintings, they are all a character that existed in this place. Yeah, they're all a character that existed in this place. 好耐以前，呢條街係好多做妓女嘅。好耐以前 ，remember I said the 賭鬼、色鬼、酒鬼，don't know乜鬼啦，冇得隻鬼啦。One of them, the sick guy, is they're here for this. So I'm not ashamed of history. That's why I put her here. And a lot of the people who come and say, oh, you shouldn't show this. I say, why? I said, listen, I'm shy lah, very shameful. I said, can you tell me, are you ashamed of your history being here today? You are not one man. 有做錯嘅，大家都有做錯。But we are here today because of our history. So I want to. I'm stubborn like that. So this girl, she is going to say this to you. One of the original green tiles that was used in the old days. In English we call it ventilation tiles. But in the old days the Chinese people use this tile so that it's not too hot. They let the air go in and out. But at the same time, it is also the place where the toilet may have that ventilation tile for obvious reasons. So later if you hear anything out of these tiles, because there was a QR code there, you'll go testing, sikijap. Okay? Last stop. Last stop, upstairs. I won't walk up, but you guys can walk up. I'll talk from here. Go ahead, walk up. 收租婆，我帶佢哋上嚟好嘛？
冇問題。
好。
睇下我嘅貴。
Okay, everybody go ahead, walk up.
慢慢睇。
See a barber at the top? Yes. See a barber at the top. In the old days, the barber never have their shop in shaded areas one. It's in the open. Barber shops are in the open. They put a chair outside, they put a mirror, and the barber does his work. So the barber stands there and does his work. This interactive piece of art actually allows you to sit on a barber chair. Can I have a good-looking gentleman to help me sit on the barber chair just to showcase? Boleh tak? Ada siapa? Would you mind? Okay. If he sits, look at this barber chair. It's as old as me.
Wow.
So if you take a picture from this angle, very hot, this even side of Tio, you will see this old man is about to cut his hair. Tio? Yeah, so he is having the haircut. This barber chair is also historical, but this barber chair we bought it from elsewhere because we want to bring in the old things. There was no barber around here. So we have to buy the barber chair. I think this from France.
This one is really the original one.
I don't know whether original or not. But if you look at it, it's very old. Next one. When the people once from upstairs want to buy something downstairs, what do they usually do?
Basket.
So you know what they say, no? They give somebody talk me now, talk Hong. Like that, talk, right? Hey, more here, Bao. Put money, drag it down, exchange money with the tong, and then up you go. Buy these noodles because they don't walk down. Clever, you know, this is actually very clever. If you do that in Malaysia right now, your money is gone in the West.